Alright, welcome back. So, I know I haven't made a video in a while, but it is time to play some more MMO Tycoon. I've tried to just let it update a bit, get some new updates, preferably the dungeon update out, but that has not yet happened, and they're in beta right now, so I thought it would be a good time to just dive back in and attempt to flush out some of this starting zone. I do need to finish that wolf cave over here, but eventually this will probably be turned into a dungeon at the back in which we'd go into a wolf dungeon, but that's not something I can do just yet. But I can finish the actual cave section, probably get a pillar or two around of stone, but the main thing I want to do is not necessarily flesh out the city, but flesh out the forest, because it looks a bit barren. Alright, so I just want to kind of walk through basically what I'm thinking of doing is I'm just trying to smooth out these walls because as you can see there are still holes, so smoothing it out also helps get rid of this little weird, pre-placed look and makes it a little bit more smooth, and it also fills in these gaps. So I'm not trying to completely smooth it out though, so like right over here, just a little bit to patch in so it doesn't look like it's such a big void in between. And I'm also trying to make some sediment piling up on these things. Plus it kind of gets rid of that really jaggedy feel the best I can, because I don't want it to be too jaggedy. So I might go in with actually one of these smooth boulders like right here to smooth out this one completely, so it's not too jaggedy. And probably fill out over here a lot actually, unless I do want it to have more of this jaggedy look on this other side with this jaggedy stone. But I'm just trying to make it not look like a train wreck, which isn't the easiest, but yes, I just want to jump in and kind of explain my thought process of just filling in the wall, giving a little support beam with a little bit of decoration right now. I'm not going too heavy on decoration, because I'm just trying to make it look not atrocious. Alright. Alright, so just gonna jump back on in, but essentially I feel like this side looks a lot better as in compared to the other side, which is, well, it still needs some work, because you can see that there's still these little parts where it sticks out and it needs some texture work essentially. And I'm contemplating putting fences inside the rocks, but honestly I just don't think I'm gonna bother with that. It's just extra work. But if you do go inside, I do need to flush out the inside as well. Oh boy. Ah, crud. It's gonna be like another half an hour just to flush out the inside. Plus, I don't even have the roof completely done. Yikes. Wow. Yeah, if you guys are gonna plan on building a cave, don't. Alright, well, I'm gonna get back to building now. Yeah, so one thing that I have found out though after building all this is like you just gotta get a blueprint down and you just gotta patch it together like a quilt. like a patchwork quilt, because this is something else. It doesn't just get done. You have to put something on it and then fill in all the gaps. Oh my gosh. This is a real piece of work. And it doesn't even look that amazing either. Oh boy. Alright. You guys might not know it, but I took a break. Just because, why not? But I'm gonna get back to building this little cave. I'm going to attempt to talk more, just in case, so that way you guys can tell me in the comments if you prefer me having talking, just while doing the, you know, the good old... Problem is I don't really talk a lot while doing these, because I concentrate on how I want them to look. But if you guys do prefer me chatting, and well, instead of doing the whole music in the background, then here we are, because it's not that bad to edit it and have this instead of the music in the background. If anything, it's actually easier, so I'm okay with that. Just let me know what you all think, and it will be done. I'm just kind of making this side be a little bit jaggedy. Trying to sell the whole landslide look. There we are. All I've been doing this entire time is just blending. I've just been blending and more blending and then a little bit more blending. Gosh darn it. This probably could have been done so much more easier. I 100% did it the more difficult way for no reason. Probably expand the lore. So this isn't just a cave that's been infested with wolves, but it's actually an old mining cave that is started to be overrun with wolves with all of the war going on with the wider world. But these are just stalactites. Maybe I consider they're earth or iron veins. Who knows? They don't really look like that, but we could say that. Yeah, so I really am noticing, like, in order to really properly utilize the system, which moves the axle system essentially, on which you move your pieces various ways, it actually is very finicky if you're too up close. So you actually have to kind of get back a bit, or else you might just straight up start having a lot of difficulties. Oh, a nice little thing I am doing while doing all this is just keep layering. If one layer doesn't exactly go how you want it to, just do another layer, and it might actually end up evening out to be what you wanted that initial thickness to be without it being too large one way or the other. And like just do layer after layer, maybe make the last layer a little bit smaller, and then morph it in with the other layers, and you can just keep layering until you get the right thickness on the certain part you want. It'll just be gradual and it won't look too bad, but we don't have a lot of shapes to work with, so it's more of like just making the shapes you have to work with thicker, or basically the size you need it to be in order to achieve the certain look without achieving the exact look, really. Wow, it really does feel like you get done with one side and then bang, you look at the other side and it's like, yeah, you have to redo everything you just did, but now do it on the other side. Oh boy. You know, having some kind of system that allows it to have some sort of mirroring would be nice. Like, you can designate whatever you do on this side exactly, I don't know, X distance away, it'll mirror exactly what you do on the placements on the other side. I don't know how that would be implemented at all. Without it being a lot of work is what I mean. Like, I don't know how it would be implemented without it being a lot of work to implement, basically. Because it's like, yeah, it could be implemented pretty easily, but how do you implement a mirroring system like that without it being a lot of work is the problem. There's something I need to know in the comments. What's better, Pepsi or Coke? I need to know. Drop it down in the comments for those of you that are still here. You need to drop it in the comments. We'll be doing a poll, all right? And I will be shouting out if you're the victor. All right. Yeah, no, it gets really finicky whenever if you get it lined up so it highlights both sides of that circle. That's when you get the problems. Wow, okay, I probably need to start working on a second zone. I already have a lot of level 2 players. Oh boy. Imagine getting level 2 and there's only really 2 zones that aren't even really properly designed yet. Sinking in 3 months of game time just to realize half the content in the starting zone isn't even finished or polished in the slightest. Alright. So here's the sketchy cave in all of its glory. Unfast forwarded, of course, as you can see. This sucker has gotten me, I think, 3 levels or whatever in the got me from like 2.1 to 2.15 or whatever. It definitely got me over I think it got me from 2 to 2.1 essentially, just building this one little cave that doesn't even look the best. That's right, we have flight paths now. Man, it's been so long. I don't even remember what I was doing on the quest line. It's been so long. Okay. Yes, alright. Here's the major thing. For those of you that have stayed around to this point in the video, The next episode we will be expanding, regardless of how our starting zone works, into you guys get two options, alright? We can either go into this one, which will be very mountainous. It'll be more of like, it'll be kind of like a mountain village. Not like a mountain pass, but more of like a mountain village type thing. Going into here, it'll basically be a mountain village right here, going into sort of a beast plain is what it's going to be kind of like. And then we also got here, which is going to be a poison swamp. And for you guys, if you guys do end up choosing the poison swamp, the best selected vote for the poison swamp idea will actually be implemented. So if you guys end up going for the poison swamp, whoever has the best idea for the poison swamp will be the one that actually gets implemented into the idea of what the poison swamp is going to look like, and basically feel what kind of faction do you want it to be. Do you want it to be like the Lizardman faction? And that's where we'll start off a new class if you guys do choose the poison swamp. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy what I'm going to call the greenery montage. Alright, so I think that's where I'm going to end it off there. I did do some various things, which included greenery and whatnot, but I tried not to prestige at all because I didn't want to make a whole lot of progress off just placing plants. But essentially, based off right here, before we go into the poison swamp, the main reason why the poison swamp is such a big deal here, well, for if we choose it, is that it has certain industry byproducts that kind of spread into here. So this is one of the things that is popularly sold here at this summoning tower is Deathroot. This is one of the things. It grips the trees, slowly choking them out essentially. The older the tree, the more severe the Deathroot is. But it can be harvested because it secretes a purple liquid, which is very useful with summoning and various other experimentations that will happen in various places. And another thing I did was I did start on the greenery, as you guys saw. I'm not going to go too much farther out than this. I'm basically going to keep greenery detailed like this towards the main pathways, or if there's areas like this. But like going over here, I'm not going to do the whole greenery thing because I just don't think I need to do it. It'll clog up performance and it might level me up too much without me really doing any main quests. So I prefer to hold off on that, but it'll probably end up stretching all the way through this main road into the next thing, etc., or going or spreading out from the main areas. So you can expect me to be doing detailing like those plants and whatnot around the main points of interest, but not around various exploration areas, I should say. Without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and have an excellent day.